I have with me David C. Smalley. And I've spoken with David before on my TV show, The Fallen State.tv. David is the host of Smalley Show, The Smalley Show. And as I said, he was previously on the Fallen State.tv. I wanted to talk to David about what's happening in America today and other things. David, how you doing? Welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Appreciate you coming, David. So, just for the folks who don't know you, might not know you, are you a Christian, David?
I'm not a Christian. I'm an atheist.
You're an atheist. And what does that mean to be an atheist?
I just do not believe in any of the gods that have been proposed so far, but I'm always open to it.
So there might be one, but you just don't know right now.
Why not?
Have you ever been a Christian?
Yeah. I was a Christian for a long time, actually. The name of my podcast was actually called Dogma Debate for about 10 years. And I recently just went with my name, David C. Smalley, because about 1 in 3 shows is about religion or talking with a pastor or a Christian. I actually grew up in the faith. I wrote a book about it called Baptized Atheist. It's available on audio and paperback, where I talk about sort of the questions I was asking as a Christian. And then I read the Bible all the way through. And when I got to the end of the Bible, I no longer believed. So.
And when you were a Christian, did you believe in God then? You believed there was a God?
Oh, yeah, completely.
And why did you believe that?
I believed it because other people told me.
Oh.
The things that I'd experienced, I thought were God because I'd been taught to believe those were God. And then when I started reading the Bible, really what started to fall apart for me, honestly, is just that I found the Bible to not be credible. I started to find contradictions, and I started to find problems with how the Bible was put together and how it sort of mimicked other religions. And for me, I just couldn't continue selling something or winning souls, as we would say, knocking doors. I couldn't continue doing that without knowing for sure I had the truth. So I stepped back from it, and I did a 14-year deep dive analysis, ended up not believing, and I started my own podcast talking about it. So.
And when you believed that there was a God, did it help you in any way to believe that?
What do you mean? Did believing help me believe?
Yeah. I mean, when you believed that there was a God, did it help you in your life in any way to believe that there was a God?
You know, it helped me in ways that I didn't need God for those things, but I thought I needed it at that time, if that makes sense. So like, for example, I believed there was a God, but I didn't know about humanism. I didn't understand the idea of being good because it's good for overall humanity. I never thought about it that way. So I thought I needed God at the time, but I realized later that we're mostly good people because we're just good people. And then we assign that we're good because of God after the fact. But the reality is atheists and Christians and Muslims and Jews, we all help each other statistically at the same rates. So it's not as connected to morality as most people think. So no, I really didn't need the religion. I just thought I did because that's all I knew.
So now that you don't believe that there is a God, or you're an atheist, don't believe in God, how is that helping you not to believe there is a God?
Oh man, it helps me a lot. Honestly, I feel a sense of urgency to be a good person so much stronger now because I see this as my only shot at life. I do feel a connection to something bigger than myself, but I would just call that humanity. I'm not saying everybody should, but I feel personally an obligation to be a better person because this is the only life I get. This is my only shot. And I feel like the only way I'm going to live on after I die is in your memories, is in the memories of the people that I interact with on a daily basis, the recordings I leave behind. And so I want to leave a positive impact on the planet. So it's way more important to me to be a positive person now and leave a good impact now than it was then, because as a Christian, I sort of saw this life as like a practice run. Like eternity was the long shot. Eternity was the goal. I wanted to be good because God was watching, but eternity is where I really wanted to be. And once I realized that this was the only life I actually had, the one that I had proof for, it became so much more important and so much more valuable to treat people with respect and to be kind.
Amazing. Are you a good person?
I like to think so. Yeah.
Are you a good person?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you a good person?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes. You say, yeah, I think so. It sounded like you're not certain. Are
Well,
you,
I mean, I think good is sometimes subjective. I mean, it depends on how we would rate that, I guess. If you're about to go into the whole pastor thing of if you've ever lied, if you've ever stolen, I would push back and say that people make mistakes. I don't think that defines who they are, right? But I think that overall, if you want to judge on basis of morality, as far as stealing, hurting people, holding people back, I don't do any of those things. I've never been arrested. I'm not a bad guy overall. I keep my daughter first. I try to be a good person as best I can.
so,
Nobody's perfect, of course, but yeah, I would say I'm a pretty decent person.
so you are a good person. What's good about you?
That I just love humanity. I think at my core, that's really what it is. And a lot of people think that my atheism comes from a place of anger or hatred, and it's just the opposite. I love humanity. And when I read the Bible, especially the Old Testament, I see the things that the God of the Bible does to humanity. And I think there's no way that a God could love us and treat us that way. There's no way a God could love us and say slavery is okay. That a God can love us and say, that like in 1 Samuel 15:3, where he orders Saul to go wipe out the Amalekites and kill the infants and nursing babies. That doesn't sound like love to me. And so the humanity in me and the love I have for humanity is actually what drove me away from thinking the Bible was a good book, because I started reading the parts the preacher wasn't telling me about. And I think that my love for humanity probably is what drives me to continue being a good person.
And where do you get this love from that you're loving humanity with?
Oh, from compassion and evolution. I think that
and where do you get the compassion from?
Yeah, the compassion would come from evolution, because if you think about it, if humans did not evolve to care about the baby that was crying in the floor or on the ground of the hut, we would not have survived this long, right? We had to have some sort of innate passion about the little human creature that looked like us to pick it up and feed it when it was helpless. And so I think compassion is an evolutionary adaptation, as well as guilt. Guilt is actually a good motivator. Like if you go out in public and you're doing something that the rest of the tribe is not okay with, you feel in your heart, you know that something's not right about the way you're behaving, which is why people tend to not talk so loud out in public. And if someone does, we look at them like, what are you doing? You're making it hard for us. And chimpanzees do the same thing, by the way. If a chimpanzee is caught stealing food from another chimp, he gets kicked out of the troop. I mean, if you want us to live together and you want to benefit from the life of us being together, you're going to act in accordance with how the group expects you to act. And
so you believe that you evolved
to understand it.
You believe that you evolved from a monkey, an ape?
Well, I think we have common ancestors with apes. I wouldn't say evolved from a monkey.
Where did you evolve from then?
Well, we're all related. I mean, if you look at the ancestry, if you look at the data, I mean, your DNA is like 50% shared with a banana, right? I mean, we're all connected on some level.
So you believe that you evolved from a banana?
No, Jesse, I didn't say I evolved from a banana.
What did you evolve? You don't believe that.
Okay,
you don't believe that human beings were created. You believe that they evolved. What did you evolve from?
Well, if evolution doesn't work that way, evolution doesn't go in a straight line. You aren't a banana one day and then turn into a snake and then turn into a monkey and then turn into a person. Evolution is like a family tree, right? You didn't evolve from your cousin, but you're related to your cousin. You didn't evolve from your great grandfather, right? But that person's DNA is in you somehow. So it's more like a web, like a tree where things are ultimately connected.
So what did human beings evolve from?
And that's not the way it works. We didn't evolve from anything. We are related. We are all related.
And so where did human beings come from if they didn't evolve from something?
What do you mean?
We all did evolve. You said you're related to a monkey, but the monkey came from the monkey. What did the human beings come from that made you related to a monkey?
Okay, I would refer everyone to go to talkorigins.org.
No, just tell me, what did you evolve from that caused you to be related to a monkey?
Well, Jesse, the way you're asking the question means you fundamentally don't understand evolution. So it's not that I evolved from a different species. That's just not the way it works.
Well, how did human beings come about?
through evolution, which is going to take way more than the time we have right now.
Evolution through what?
What's that?
You evolved from what through evolution?
Jesse, this is last time I was on. You asked me if I was a man, and we ended up in a conversation just like this. I was joking with you a little bit when I said I don't know, and we got into that whole sort of playful discussion. But this is it's a fundamental misunderstanding of it. It's not that we were something else and we became something, but yeah, we do have common ancestors. We are considered one of the 5 great apes right now.
So you're an ape.
We are apes right now. Technically,
so you are an ape.
Yes, I'm an ape.
Amazing. So let me ask you about what's happening in America today and around the world.
Okay.
Black Lives Matter and Antifa is committing a terrorist attack upon America. Would you agree with that?
I'm sorry. What was the terrorist attack?
Destruction, death, robbing, killing, destroying. The terrorist attack. Do you agree with that?
No, I wouldn't call those. No, I wouldn't call that a terrorist attack.
What would you call it?
Well, so there's a couple of things to think about here. And on my show, on my podcast, I'm very big on nuance, right? So if you're looking to get some sort of 3-second clip out of me, like a CNN thing, I'm the wrong guy for that. Things need to have nuance. Things need an explanation. There's multiple things going on with the Black Lives. As far as what I think you're talking about are the riots, the destruction and the riots.
Do you support Black Lives Matter? First of all, I forgot to ask, do you support what they're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
I support the movement Black Lives Matter.
You support what they're doing right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so whenever you see something burning, something on fire, a window broken, right? Something going on with destruction. Sometimes that may be the outliers. I'm not on board with Antifa. I do not think they represent the left. Sometimes, by the way, they have caught far-right activists and police officers intentionally pretending to be protesters, creating violence and starting fires and busting out windows. There have been several.
You're not telling me why you support Antifa and Black Lives Matter in this terrorist attack upon America.
Jesse, I just said I do not support Antifa.
How about Black Lives Matter? Do you support Black Lives Matter?
I do, and that's what I was trying to explain.
And you support them destroying and burning down and killing and stealing and robbing and all that. You support all that?
I do not.
But that's what they're doing. Why don't you support that? Why don't you support that?
No, that's what you and other conservatives are choosing to focus on. Are
you saying that we're not seeing these things happen?
No, Jesse, let me finish my point here. What I'm getting at is that sometimes there are far-right activists who are doing the damage.
That's not what I'm asking you. Are we seeing Black Lives Matter destroy America? Or is that an illusion?
You're just going to keep cutting me off.
But you're not answering the question. You're going to conservative all that. You're making up stuff.
No, I'm not making anything up. You got to let me finish the whole point. There are people within Black Lives Matter or that show up maybe for the right reasons and then end up doing something I would disagree with. I mean, I can't control everybody out there, but I think focusing on the few moments of violence, whether it be a far-right activist who's doing it, an undercover cop who's literally pretending to be a protester,
making up stuff, man.
Violent, or
you're not answering about Black Lives Matter. Did you know that
let me
you're trying to add things to it that are not true? It's not the cops. It's not. No. It's not conservative. It's radical. Sometimes. Black Lives Matter. So did you know that Black Lives Matter was founded by a bunch of fat black radical lesbians who are worse than the KKK? Did you know that?
What? That's not true.
I've interviewed them. It's absolutely true.
Okay, let me put it like this. If anybody within the movement or within the overall ideology is breaking away from the overall peaceful protest,
it's happening.
Jesse, let me just say, those actions, the actions of violence, the actions of fire, the actions of burning things down, I disagree with those. That does not mean that Black lives don't matter. That doesn't mean that the overall movement isn't still important.
Do Black lives matter?
Absolutely. Don't you think Black lives matter?
And why do you say Black lives matter?
Because they do.
What matter for them about them?
their life matters. In a long history in this country, it's seemed like they didn't to a lot of people.
Why do their lives matter?
Because they're human beings, and it's very important to treat them as though they matter. But Black Lives Matter is a movement. Black Lives Matter is a movement of validation. All the movement is saying is we matter too, and that they want people to stand in solidarity with Black lives, to say Black lives matter as well as other lives. Because in this country, for a long time, it seemed like that Black lives were less important than other lives.
Do Black lives matter to them? To the black radical fat lesbians who are destroying and killing? I'm sorry, are you saying fat lesbians? Yes.
Is this your argument?
Radical fat black lesbians. Do their lives matter to them?
What does someone's body mass index have to do with anything?
Well, they have to be fat because lesbians are fat. Do their lives matter to them?
What are you talking about? I don't even know how this is an argument.
Do their lives matter to them?
Am I on a show right now where I've literally been asked the question, do Black lives matter to fat lesbians? Is that literally the question?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to go ahead and say yeah.
And
I know a lot of lesbians.
Why do you say yes?
Jesse, all people matter, right? And
no, I'm asking you, do these fat black radical lesbians' lives matter to them?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
And why you say of course?
Because I love humanity and they are part of humanity.
What is it about them that caused you to believe that their Black lives matter to them?
Do you not believe everybody matters?
That's not what I'm asking you. What is it about them to you, David, that makes you believe or cause you to believe that Black lives matter to the fat black radical lesbians?
I guess I should have been watching the show more often. I think that's an ongoing joke you have, and I'm not getting it. Yeah, I think everybody realizes within this group that Black lives matter.
Why? What is it about them that makes you realize that lives matter to them?
Well, because look at it like this. From 1934 to 1968, 98% of federal home loans went to white families. White families. You know what that means? That means white families 98% of the time got a chance to buy homes, sell those homes, use that equity to buy other homes, sell their homes to other white people. This went on for decades. And that caused white families in white suburbs to build wealth. Let me finish. To build that wealth. And due to redlining, the areas in the black communities it was unable to build them up. So businesses didn't there was no money there. But in the white neighborhoods, because they were given 98% of the home loans in those 3 decades, they were able to sell their homes and pass their wealth down to families. So right now, I think it would take like 228 years for the average black family to have the same wealth as the average white family. And when you put people in tiny neighborhoods with lower wealth and lower opportunities, they're going to have lower education. The teachers are going to make less money. They're lower funded, and there's going to be higher crime in those areas. So now, after all of these years of oppression, we want to look at those little neighborhoods and say, yeah, your crime is too high.
So well, that's why you
them up to fail in this country.
That's why you believe that Black lives matter to these fat black radical lesbians?
Yes, that's why we need to say Black lives matter regardless of our past mind.
That's why you believe that they believe that Black lives matter because of what you just said?
Yep.
Amazing. Are they right in burning and destroying and killing and stealing? Is that right? Is that the right thing to do for Black Lives Matter?
No, and anytime I've seen someone on TV interviewed about it, they condemn those actions.
When they was chanting, what do we want? Dead cops. When do we want it? Now. Pigs in the blanket, fry them like bacon. Mm-hmm. Was that right for them to do that? Or wrong?
I don't think so. I think that emotions are running high, and I think that a lot of young people are upset. And I think if they look back on this in 40 years, they would probably regret those types of chants. But ultimately, what they want is change.
Do you condemn the riots and the mayhem and the destruction that Black Lives Matter are bringing up on America today? Do you condemn that?
I do, but I think you're overselling it. I don't think it's happening near as much as you're claiming.
So you're not watching what's going on?
I am watching, but I'm not watching, Fox News.
So how much more do they need to do before you realize how bad it really is. If you don't think it's bad enough already, what else do they need to do to convince you that it's bad enough?
Well, I mean, I don't think, I think it's a matter of what you're paying attention to. I think OAN and Fox News are focusing on pockets of violence.
But I'm asking you, what else do they need to do to convince you that they have done enough destruction
Jesse,
to make it bad?
I don't think the destruction is nearly as bad as you think it is.
So it's not bad enough yet?
No, it's not. But I think that
what else do they need to do for you to make it bad enough?
I think the conservative news media is making it look worse than it is. I think if you pay attention
I'm
to what
driving through town. I'm seeing burned out buildings and broken in banks and dead people and people being robbed and black people knocking out black people knocking out white people. You're saying it's not bad enough yet?
Yeah, no, those things are bad, and I said I condemn those things.
But not bad enough?
That's not the majority of what's going on,
and
Jesse.
That's not bad enough for you?
It's not going on to the level that you're saying it is.
No. I'm asking you, whatever level is that, in your opinion, it's not bad enough yet?
Sure it is. Yeah, that should stop no matter what. That should definitely stop.
Is that bad? Is that bad enough?
That doesn't represent the whole of Black Lives Matter.
Is it bad enough?
Jesse, that does not represent the whole of Black Lives Matter.
Is it bad enough, though, for you? Is it bad enough?
Well, Jesse, I've clearly condemned those actions, so I would say, yeah, it's bad enough for me to condemn it. And I'm not a spokesperson for Black Lives Matter. I'm not.
Let me ask, do white lives matter?
What?
Do white lives matter?
Sure.
White lives matter?
Yeah.
You better not say that in front of black life. I bet you wouldn't say that in front of a Black Lives Matter person.
Oh, of course I would.
No, you would never say that. You're not manly enough to say that.
Okay, you're entitled to your opinion. I think the reason, listen, whenever you say blue lives matter, do you believe blue lives matter?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when someone says blue lives matter? Yeah, but listen, I'm going to ask you a question. When you hear someone say blue lives matter, do you have an instinct to yell back at them that all jobs matter?
Yes.
Really? So when someone says blue lives matter, you say, no, all jobs matter.
I say yes, and all jobs matter.
Okay, well then if someone said Black Lives Matter and you said yes and all lives matter, I don't think anybody in Black Lives Matter would be concerned with that.
You haven't been paying attention. White people, are you white or Mexican?
I'm white. I'm very white.
Are you afraid of Black Lives Matter?
No, not at all.
Will you stand up to them and disagree with them?
Yeah, sometimes, but I tend to go to the protest. I'm in favor of Black Lives Matter. I've done 5 podcasts dedicated to Black Lives Matter.
So why are you supporting your own destruction? Because they'll turn on you too the moment you disagree. You're out of here. Why would you, as a white man, why are you supporting your own destruction?
Jesse, Black Lives Matter does not want the destruction of white people.
That's not what I asked you.
Well, no, I support Black Lives Matter because Black Lives Matter is a movement about validation. They want to be heard.
Why are they so insecure? They need to destroy America to be validated. What's wrong with them?
They don't need to, and that's why
are they doing it then?
They don't need to destroy America, and that's why I condemn those actions.
Oh, okay. Amazing. You support the cops?
What do you mean by that?
Do you support the police?
Support the police in
Black Lives Matter are against police, the cops. Are you against the cops as well?
I think that is a gross oversimplification of what Black Lives Matter is asking for. And again, I'm not a founder or a spokesperson for the organization, but I will say that every cop I've ever talked to says that they are overworked, that they get called out on things they shouldn't be called out on, that they're called to respond to things they shouldn't respond to.
Because of time, we're about to run out of time. Do you support the cops?
This idea of defund police, I think, helps police to lower their responsibilities and hire other people so that they can spread out the workload.
David, do you support the cops?
It depends on what you're talking about.
Period.
I mean, I think sometimes, but I think they also need to be defunded and split apart.
And sometimes you don't support them? When
they're breaking, murdering people? I do not.
When did they do that?
Well, when they're 24% more likely to point guns at black people and 18% more likely to go hands-on with black people.
When have you ever seen cops murder people?
Yeah, I saw it with George Floyd.
You saw cops murdering George Floyd?
Yeah.
How many?
8 minutes and 46 seconds.
How many cops did you see him murdering? Did you see murdering George Floyd?
Looks like there were 4 to me.
There were 4 people, huh? Oh, amazing. Yeah. So let me ask, are you a man?
I am, Jesse.
And what is a man?
I believe the definition of a man is an adult biological male, according to Webster's dictionary.
And do you have love?
Love? Of course, yeah.
And what is love?
You know, I think love could be defined in a million different ways. I think it's just an overall connection to humanity, and that I definitely have.
And do you love white people?
Not because they're white. I love all people.
Do you love white people?
I love people in general, Jesse.
Do you love white people?
Not particularly more than other people, but yes, I love white people if they're included in people.
Do you love white people?
You're just trying to push me into a trap. What are you talking about? You want a clip of you saying, do you love white people, and this bald dude saying yes? No, I'm not going to give you that.
You don't love white people?
I love people. What is your point?
How about white people?
Do you love black people?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you love white people?
Sure.
You're not sure?
I said sure.
How come it's so hard to say you love white people?
Because in this day and age, when someone specifies white people and love, it usually comes from a place of sort of a superiority complex. And I would never want to give the impression that I think white people are special in any way. But
and why not? That's in your mind. That's crazy. That's crazy thinking.
No. It's just the temperature of the environment right now. I mean, the people
so
that
are you afraid of the temperature of the environment?
No, but there needs to be a change in how our society operates.
Oh,
and
we need to
right
go.
Now,
so the change needs to be we got to burn down America instead of continue to make America great again.
Well, I've said at least 7 times in this conversation, Jesse, that I'm not in favor of the violence and fires. So if you're still trying to get me to defend something I've already condemned, I don't know what to say to you.
David, what's your website? How can people listen to your podcast?
DavidCSmalley.com is where they can find everything. David C. Smalley on Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon.com/David C. Smalley, where we focus on nuance.
David, happy White History Month. Thanks for coming on.
I don't like that. Thank you.
You don't like what?
White History Month. Why do we need that?
We have Black History Month. Do we need Black History Month?
Yeah, but things don't.
Do we need homosexual history month?
This country is 60% white and was founded on racism. Do we need
homosexual history month?
Sure, yeah. It's a celebration.
Why can't we need white history month?
Because white people haven't been oppressed in this country.
That's what you think. Thanks, David.
What you get is what you see. 'Cause I was raised backcountry in the woods and the creeks. I was raised backcountry.
Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.